Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I'm an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. The next 3 weeks on the Bold and the Beautiful, spanning July 6th through July 24th, promise an emotional storm unlike anything the characters have faced in recent weeks. Relationships that once seemed unshakable will be tested by heartbreaking misunderstandings, painful choices, and unexpected obstacles that threaten to pull loved ones apart. Every conversation will carry hidden meaning, every glance will reveal lingering fears, and every decision will have consequences that ripple far beyond the moment. As old wounds reopen and new conflicts emerge, families and couples alike will find themselves standing at emotional crossroads where trust, loyalty, and forgiveness become more valuable than ever. While some characters desperately fight to preserve the lives they've built together, others will discover that love alone may not be enough to overcome the challenges waiting just around the corner. The coming weeks will unfold like an emotional roller coaster, blending hope and heartbreak into a dramatic journey that no one will escape unchanged. The week of July 6th through July 10th begins with a moment so shocking that it leaves Liam Spencer frozen in absolute horror. What should have been an ordinary encounter suddenly turns into a terrifying nightmare when he discovers Hope Logan Spencer unconscious before his eyes. Panic immediately takes hold as countless frightening possibilities race through his mind, and the sight of Hope lying motionless becomes something he cannot erase, no matter how hard he tries. Every second feels painfully slow as uncertainty fills the air, leaving everyone wondering whether this is simply the devastating result of an overwhelming panic attack or the warning sign of a much more serious medical crisis hiding beneath the surface. The emotional weight of the situation becomes impossible to ignore, especially considering everything Hope has already endured. As fear spreads through those who care about her, one question continues to linger above all the others. What has truly happened to Hope? And will she recover before the damage becomes irreversible? While Hope's frightening collapse sends shockwaves through her loved ones, another relationship quietly begins to unravel under the pressure of family expectations. Electra Forrester reaches a difficult decision as she prepares to leave Will Spencer's beach house, a choice that reflects just how deeply recent events have shaken her confidence in their future together. Standing firmly by her side is R.J. Forrester, who offers his unwavering support as Electra struggles with the emotional burden of walking away from someone she still cares about. Yet, the situation grows even more complicated as Ridge Forrester appears ready to apply pressure of his own, believing that Electra should end her relationship with Will once and for all. His influence threatens to make an already heartbreaking decision even more painful, forcing Electra to question whether love is worth fighting for when so many people believe the relationship is destined to fail. As emotions quietly simmer beneath the surface, the future of Will and Electra's romance begins to look increasingly uncertain. Elsewhere, another battle is brewing, one that has haunted multiple generations of the Forrester family. Sheila Carter refuses to let go of her determination to remain connected to John Finn Finnegan and young Hayes Finnegan, continuing to demand visits despite the overwhelming resistance surrounding her. Taylor makes it clear that she has no intention of convincing Steffi Forrester Finnegan to allow those visits, believing there is simply no chance Steffi will ever agree to welcome Sheila back into their lives. That refusal only intensifies Sheila's growing frustration, creating yet another emotional powder keg ready to explode at any moment. Rather than accepting defeat, Sheila begins considering a far more dangerous path forward, one that suggests she may no longer be willing to cooperate by signing the divorce papers as expected. Instead, she appears ready to seize control of the situation herself, especially with Finn about to be blindsided by an unexpected request that could change everything, and once again place his loyalty to the people he loves under intense scrutiny. As the story moves into the week of July 13th through July 17th, the emotional pressure surrounding Finn and Steffi only grows stronger, forcing them to lean on one another more than ever before. Fully aware of the chaos constantly threatening their marriage, Finn makes a heartfelt promise that leaves no room for doubt, reassuring Steffi that she and the life they have built together will always come before everything else. His words are sincere, spoken with the determination of a man who understands exactly how much is at stake if he fails to protect the family they have fought so hard to preserve. For Steffi, hearing that promise brings a much-needed sense of comfort after weeks of uncertainty, and she places her trust in Finn's commitment with cautious hope. Yet even as the couple shares this emotional reaffirmation, an uneasy feeling lingers beneath the surface because they both know one painful truth all too well. Sheila Carter has never accepted defeat for long. No matter how determined Finn may be to keep his family safe, Sheila's relentless obsession has a way of creating new chaos just when everyone believes the worst has finally passed. That lingering threat hangs over every peaceful moment, reminding viewers that happiness in this family rarely lasts without another devastating challenge waiting just around the corner. While Finn and Steffi struggle to protect their marriage from outside interference, another complicated romantic situation begins moving toward an emotional breaking point. Will Spencer refuses to give up on the future he imagined with Electra Forrester, believing that love deserves another chance despite everything that has happened between them. His determination remains genuine, fueled by the hope that honest conversations and sincere effort can repair the damage before it becomes permanent. Unfortunately, not everyone shares that optimism, and R.J. Forrester steps in with a very different perspective, insisting that trying to revive the relationship would only reopen painful wounds and create even more heartbreak for everyone involved. As Will wrestles with the growing opposition surrounding his relationship, a surprising new presence quietly enters the picture. Melissa Dillon offers Will her sympathy during one of his most vulnerable moments, providing a comforting shoulder just when he feels increasingly isolated and emotionally exhausted. What begins as compassion, however, may quickly evolve into something far more dangerous, as her kindness opens the door to a temptation capable of changing the entire direction of Will's romantic future. With emotions running high and uncertainty clouding every decision, the foundations of this emerging love quad become even more unstable, promising difficult choices that could leave lasting consequences for everyone involved. Meanwhile, another couple faces a heartbreaking obstacle that neither of them ever expected to encounter. Carter Walton and Daphne Rose Walton have been looking toward the future with dreams of building a family together, imagining the joy of welcoming a child into their lives and beginning an entirely new chapter filled with love and hope. Those dreams, however, suddenly collide with a painful reality as the couple faces what appears to be a devastating struggle with infertility. The excitement they once shared is replaced by confusion, disappointment, and emotional exhaustion as they begin realizing that starting a family may not be as simple as they had always believed. Every hopeful expectation is overshadowed by difficult questions and heartbreaking uncertainty, forcing both Carter and Daphne to confront fears they never imagined they would have to face together. Rather than celebrating new beginnings, they now find themselves searching for strength simply to endure the emotional weight of a dream slipping further from reach. It is a deeply personal battle, one that tests not only their patience, but also the resilience of the love they have built together. As the calendar turns toward the week of July 20th through July 24th, Carter and Daphne find themselves standing before some of the most difficult conversations of their relationship. Their disappointment over the unexpected setback refuses to disappear, making it impossible to ignore the painful reality that their original plans for becoming parents may no longer be possible. Instead of allowing despair to define their future, however, they begin exploring the difficult but hopeful question of whether another path could still lead them to the family they have always wanted. Surrogacy and adoption slowly emerge as possibilities worthy of serious consideration, opening doors that neither of them may have envisioned before this heartbreaking journey began. Those conversations are filled with vulnerability, uncertainty, and quiet hope, as both of them try to balance the grief of what may never happen with the excitement of what still could. Whatever decision they ultimately make, it becomes clear that their greatest challenge is no longer simply having a child. It is making sure they continue facing every obstacle together as partners, united by love, instead of divided by disappointment. At the same time, long-standing family tensions continue to intensify as Brooke and Katie Logan Spencer remain locked in their bitter feud. Neither sister appears willing to surrender, and every disagreement threatens to spark another painful confrontation that pushes them even further apart. Their emotional conflict continues casting a shadow over the entire family, creating an atmosphere where reconciliation feels more distant with each passing day. Watching the growing hostility unfold becomes especially difficult for Liam, whose attention remains fixed on Hope and the enormous emotional burden she continues carrying after her frightening medical scare. He cannot ignore the possibility that the ongoing family drama is placing even more stress on Hope at a time when she desperately needs peace, support, and stability. Driven by concern rather than frustration, Liam begins considering whether he should encourage Brooke to forgive Hope and find a way to resolve the conflict with Katie before the emotional damage grows even worse. His desire is simple but deeply meaningful: to create a calmer environment where Hope can focus on healing instead of becoming trapped in endless family battles. As these emotional storylines collide, one truth becomes impossible to overlook. Love alone may inspire hope, but forgiveness, trust, and understanding will ultimately determine whether these families can survive the storms gathering around them. Liam's heartfelt wish for peace reflects the hopes of everyone longing to see broken relationships repaired, yet wishing for harmony and actually achieving it are two very different things. Deep emotional scars rarely disappear overnight, and the resentment dividing so many loved ones continues standing firmly in the way of reconciliation. Every promise, every difficult conversation, and every unexpected temptation has the power to reshape lives in ways no one can fully predict. By the time these dramatic weeks reach their conclusion, every character will be forced to confront difficult truths about love, loyalty, and sacrifice, while viewers are left wondering which relationships will emerge stronger and which ones may never recover. According to the latest The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Liam will do everything he can to bring peace back to the people he loves. But whether his efforts are enough remains one of the biggest unanswered questions waiting to unfold.